Welcome everyone. Tonight we've got how older, average-looking guys can attract beautiful younger women. To help you guys with what women actually want. So for 19 years now, we've had a bunch of female coaches training guys for roughly 40 hours at our 4-day events. And I can tell you that most men, maybe 95%, have absolutely no clue whatsoever about what us women really want in a man or how to get us attracted to you. So tonight, the topic is how older, average-looking guys can attract beautiful younger women. We'll be going through a detailed list of what the most important things are to attract these women. And for example, a lot of guys think that all women are interested in is good looks, muscles, abs, tall guys, which is definitely not the case. Or you might think that money, success, career are what women are looking for. But I can tell you those things, they can help, but that's no doubt. But they're definitely not the most important factors. So if you guys have any questions around any of the content that comes up tonight, or if anything else comes up that you want to ask questions about, we love having you guys engage. Any comments or questions along the way, please put them in the chat and we'll be looking at that throughout the night. So yeah, hi guys, a few familiar names, always nice to see. So James will be joining me shortly, but I'll get started with point number one. Point number one, this is a huge one, is you must be a man. What I mean by that is that you need to have masculinity. For me, that means a bunch of things. Leadership qualities are a huge one. Having like direction and purpose. These are huge. If you think about it, why would women be interested in older men? Because a lot of younger guys are, in their, when they're in their 20s, they lack purpose. They don't know what they're doing with their lives. They're just, partying and drinking and, have no emotional intelligence, poor leadership skills, don't know how to impress a woman on a date. And these are some things that can come with age and with life experience. And, it's a well-known fact that women do mature a lot faster than men in terms of our emotional intelligence. So it just makes sense that oftentimes women are looking for something a little bit more advanced, someone who's going to match their emotional intelligence and also balance them in terms of bringing those leadership qualities and experience in dating. So James is going to be joining us just shortly. He'll give you a little bit of a rundown about what else that means, being a man, and he'll be joining us in just a second. Hey guys, hey David, hey Magnus.
Hey
Martin.
guys, how you doing? Thank you so much, Chris. Sorry, we had our usual little tech glitches at the start. Really proud of what we've got for you tonight. So we'll hop straight into it. I'll do something that'll be very unpopular. I'll take the pretty girl away and just run through some slides if I can get it right. There's a big issue with echo. Tech guy, can you figure that out? Tess, could you mute, please?
Yeah, sure.
For some crazy reason, we can't have Tess and I on at the same time, which is a disaster. So if you could just let us know what needs to happen to fix that, that'd be great. Tess, if you just jump, oh wait. Can you take Tess off? Okay, finally. There's a horrendous echo. I don't know why. It's never happened before. It's at my end. What is going on? Hello? Um, I don't know. Just persist with me for 1 second. I'll just run you through what to expect tonight. Okie dokie. Let's hope it's... Okay, anyway, that's the subject of tonight. Tech guy, there's something wrong with StreamYard where... Oh, there's no echo there. That's good news. Thanks for saving me, Martin. I'm going to be a weirdo tonight. It might be my end. Sorry, tech guy. I just have to turn the volume down a bit. So first we're going to cover what's stopping you, and thanks, Mark R. What's stopping you and how to fix it. 5 secrets to succeed for average-looking older guys. My personal secret to success, and extended Q&A. So before we get into the first thing which I think Chris covered is you've got to be super confident as a man. Yeah, this is a fantastic example from a film written by a genius in terms of understanding women, of like what women think a man is. Repeat, what women think a man is. Now, many of you guys probably have it in your mind. It's something like, what's his name, Caleb? Is that right? Correct? The iconic cage fighter who destroyed Conor McGregor, who was the best in the world at that point. But in truth, many women, I'm not saying all women, would think Russell Brand is much more of a man than Caleb. Hard to believe for many guys that women define a man very, very differently to what men define a man as. Like older, ugly guys. This guy apparently has got some of the most high volumes of beautiful women in the history of rock and roll music. Apparently, he's the guitarist for the Pogues. I could have my facts wrong, but yeah, this is not an attractive man by any stretch. But he did so well. He's so confident. Another guy, you may know this guy, Salman Rushdie. Some would say the greatest living writer. If you Google it, this guy's had a string of stupendously beautiful girls. Stupendously beautiful girls. This girl's body is just Victoria's Secret model and nothing compared to this woman. I'm no good on up-to-date actresses and stuff. Yeah, this is his girlfriend he dated. But why would she date him? Now, you might say, oh, he's famous. He's not even really that famous. And intellectuals know him and people who love literature know him, but hot girls don't really know who he is. Yeah, okay, but the thing is, how does this girl date, what's his name, the one who dated Taylor Swift, was one of the biggest rock stars in the world, from what I understand. This guy is one of the biggest rock stars in the world and pretty cool. He can dunk a basketball too, which I can't like. This guy, who's been voted the sexiest man in the world time and time again, from what I understand. I've given you the slide twice. And finally, the consensus sexiest man of this generation, Ryan Gosling. She's dating him. What the hell is she doing with this? Oh, I mean, it's a bit rude. I'm not the best looking guy, but this guy's jawline is just like that. And she's dating Ryan Gosling than him. It just makes no sense whatsoever. What's he got that you guys don't? And please don't say, oh, he's famous or he's rich. I mean, he's a writer. He's not that rich. I don't think he's ever had a famous movie from one of his books. And yeah, if you want to get even more ridiculous in terms of how hot I think she is, young Uma Thurman's dating Gary Oldman. Fantastic actor. Not that rich. She's not exactly opening movies, but she dated him. I mean, there's been too many actresses hotter than that in ever. I might get onto this guy a bit later, who's a bit of a freak, on a grand scale. And I've got a little thing I found on the internet showing you like 14 young, beautiful women this guy's been with. I mean, some of them are a lot better looking than her, in my opinion. So, yeah, the thing you've got to really, really, really get into your head is being a man in the eyes of women is very, very different from being a man in the eyes of men. It's so different. I use the example of Caleb versus Russell Brand. I've got two of the greatest women of my life have been Russian born. One was educated in France. And both of them basically say something. And Val, one of my trainers, has said this: what use is handsome man? I need man to be mans. I need mans to be mans. What good is handsome? I don't need pretty man. I need a man. And if, unfortunately, most of the guys in Western countries today, myself included for many years, I've improved that much. We're just not men. Women just don't regard us as men. So yeah, that's a very important point. We need to have, there's the testing, because we want to get her perspective as well. Sorry, he's screwed it up again. It's the one we want. Thank you. You have to be really confident to pull this off. That's the truth. Tess, can I just quickly get your perspective? How does the same girl who dates some very good celebrities, I don't know, the Ryan Gosling, for God's sake, Bradley Cooper, that famous rock star, the most famous boy band guy of the last 10 or 15 years, and someone else whose name eludes me. How the hell does she date that and then go to date some guy who's 20 years older, worst jawline in the history of celebrities, who sits and writes all day? I mean, he's probably not that rich either. How does that happen? If you could just quickly explain that.
Well, just because a guy's, I don't know, good looking and famous, whatever, it doesn't mean that he has skills with a woman. In fact, it might mean that he's never had to develop any skills with a woman in his life, because women just throw themselves at them. And so then when it actually comes to being in a relationship with these kinds of men, they have no idea what to do when they take you on a date. They, it's everything's just surface level. They might not understand how to communicate with women. Fame and good looks and money. It can get you something, but it can only get you so far, because once it gets beyond that, unless the woman you're with is a complete gold digger and has, is completely superficial. When it comes down to actually being in a relationship, there's a lot more that you need than those things. So that's when oftentimes, a much less attractive older guy, nowhere near as much money, actually becomes a lot more attractive to a woman if he has these other skills.
To plug my computer in like the moron I am. Great dating coach, not very good at anything else. Thank you, Tech Guy, for saying to me. So you really want to be a man in the eyes of women. If you get to, this is one of the biggest points I keep hammering home to rich guys or quite wealthy guys. They think they're good with women because they've had beautiful girlfriends before. And they think in many cases they picked the girl up. Because in most cases, they're just so full of shit. It's not funny, but they don't understand, because a clever gold digger, or just a clever woman who wants to get her hands on some, man that other women want, she's going to be very, very good at making him think he's being a man and just leading him there. Because if he is to go out off his own bat, actually get a woman on his own, it's like, so often the guys are hopeless. I mean, I'm a world expert on this. I mean, Tess might comment. I mean, the number of really hot guys, I don't know, probably not appropriate, the number of really hot guys we've had come to our boot camp. I've literally coached one of the world's top male models, and I've coached billionaires and guys who've founded famous Australian companies and more hedge fund private equity dudes than I can count on my hands, probably, and feet. And I mean, some of these guys retired at 31, just minted. But most of them are just really, really crappy with women. But they think they are because their ex-girlfriend was a model or something. A really, really good way to explain what a man is. I may have used this story before, but it's so powerful. I was in Bali, and there was a very, very popular cafe where it's a struggle to get a table. And people would have to wait for 50 minutes sometimes to take a waiting list. You know, this couple, there was 6 people, 3 couples, and the guys were all sort of 6'2", 6'3", well built. You know, Ralph Lauren guys, probably lawyers or stockbrokers or doctors or some sort of professional or something. And the women were whatever, well presented too, possibly professionals. And this sort of tiny little skinny, 5'6", 50-kilo grey hippie, a table that could hold 6 people, and this guy just comes and steals it. And the guys are just like looking at each other as if, who's going to be the man here? And eventually the least attractive woman, who was overweight and had a really nasty scowl on her face, and definitely had her man under the thumb. She was probably quite a lot hotter when he first got her. Sorry, sounds bad. Eventually she goes, "But we've been waiting here for half an hour. You're going to leave, we'll tell the staff." And she takes charge. I bet you this guy goes home and she's just dominating him, bullying him, tormenting him the whole time. He's simply not a man at all. Yeah, I don't know. Tess, can you just comment on how ridiculous that is for an attractive woman to have to take the lead in that sort of situation?
Yeah. So, you know, women like to feel feminine. We like to feel like women. You know, we like sensuality. We like to feel sexy, be made to feel sexy. And you know, oftentimes our natural femininity becomes stifled when we're having to take those leadership roles, or in a relationship where we have to make all the decisions, or we have to get everything done, you know. And when all of that is falling on the woman, then her femininity becomes diminished, and it's hugely frustrating. So yeah, I think women, the way we think, you know, especially when I think this comes down to the fact that we bear children, but we're always planning, we're always thinking ahead and thinking about every scenario in any situation, because that's how we're programmed. So, you know, if the man can just, in a relationship, take charge and take some of that mental load off the woman by being a decision maker in the right circumstances, or making things happen when they need to happen. So it's not always the woman. That allows us to, for our divine femininity to flourish.
Well said, brilliantly said. Okay. I noticed the comments. We might take this up later on. There's no such thing as a handsome ugly for men over 50, only rich and poor. Brad Pitt, Sean Connery until he was 71 or 79. A lot of girls in their 20s said they'd still do Sean Connery. And yeah, just to give you a personal example, I live in Bondi Beach, and there's a yoga teacher who's probably 53 or something. I mean, this guy's had more hot girls than anyone, and he hasn't got much money. But you know, he's a very, very, very good yoga teacher, pretty charismatic, and he's always wandering around a suburb with lots of girls. So, where I completely agree with Mark is, for a guy with no skills, women just select tall, handsome, rich, because you know, if they're going to pick some guy up, they might as well get the tall, handsome, rich guy. But then when you look at the sample size of guys who actually take action, let alone the guys who take action intelligently and skillfully, then it's a completely different story. I mean, I think I said the number of, you know, some billionaires and the number of guys worth a lot of money I've coached over the years, a lot of very handsome guys. And I mean, yeah, most of these guys probably had below average women's skills in many cases. So yeah, in the absence of skill, tall, handsome, status, whatever. But when you introduce skill, it's just a completely new game. As I keep saying, there's a lot of rich guys who are married to some woman who's sleeping with a personal trainer on Thursday and a yoga teacher on Tuesday and some guy from a band. So, but yeah, for the 10th time, if you don't have skills and confidence, women are just going to go after the guy who looks good. Just like I've women. Everyone agrees that women are far more caged, trapped by their beauty and youth than men are by looks and height. I just proved that pretty well with a bunch of celebrity examples. I can give you examples from my own life of guys who kill it, students who kill it, but you don't all know who they are. But yeah, I've seen women who are just insanely good with men and bat so far above their weight, it's insane. Anyway, I was at a party and there was a girl who was in her 30s, who had a bit of surgery, who had been a model. I had a real connection, but I didn't really want to do it because I was seeing two girls who were 22 and 25 or 23 and 26. And I watched her try to seduce this Russian girl, and I'm just like, this is like first repeat Jordan. I'm sitting taking notes in my phone about all the little tiny things she's doing with this seduction. I mean, she was a master. I mean, this girl would, let her loose on a man. She'd just I mean, she could do anything she wanted. Going to recruit me to go to some strip club, whatever. Anyway, a bit more information need on YouTube. Yeah, I just love this story. There's more, but I just tell her I was in the Blue Mountains with two girlfriends, and we'd spent a week or 8 days or something together. And let's go back to slide. Anyway, and one of them had to go home, I think, for a work thing, and she had to get up early the next morning. And we were up late doing whatever. It's getting late, and then that night beside us, some big, strong, masculine Aussie guys, probably a football team or something. There was 8 or 9 of them move into the villas beside us, and they're like cold chisels on and whoever Aussie music and lots of beer, and these were huge dudes, and doubtless one of them less than 80 kilos, probably a few were over 100. And yes, I can't remember the exact time, like 12:31 or even 1:30. And yeah, I wanted to get to sleep, and one of my girlfriends, she definitely needed to get to sleep. She had important stuff to do, and she stayed a day longer than she should have. And I just put on a pair of jeans, was in my underwear, and I just walked outside and just said, "Hey guys, how you doing? Listen, my girlfriend needs to get up and catch the first train. I can't remember what it was, 7 a.m. tomorrow. Just wondering, it's after 1 o'clock. If I said, could you guys possibly just keep the music down for us? That would mean so much to me and my girlfriend." And these big, scary, drunk dudes were like, "Oh, we're so sorry, man. We're so sorry. Yeah." And the music was gone in 2 minutes. And this girl reacted like sex. The first time she saw me public speak to probably 100 guys, she was just like a stick on. She's 18 years younger than me. But this was probably even more pronounced. I was the best speaker of the conference, many people thought. She was just so attractive to me. And I'm this 75 kilo dude. So yeah, if you can get one thing out of tonight, women want a man much more than they want a pretty boy. But anyway, the women you want that. Can you talk about that, Tess? That you want a man much more than you want some guy who looks like a 30-year-old Brad Pitt or a male model.
Yeah, it's things like that, James. I think that story sort of highlighted it really well. It's these like leadership qualities that I'm talking about. Being the alpha male, let's say. I feel like that term might be taken the wrong way sometimes, but those typical qualities, I think women are like hardwired to be attracted to that, because we do want the man who's going to be able to protect us and protect the family, that sort of thing. That is quite hardwired into us. So yeah, it's the same thing as James talked about public speaking and how that this woman's just throwing herself at him, his girlfriend. It's the same as anyone performing on stage in a band, that sort of thing. Women go crazy for that. So yeah, public speaking, being on stage in any regard, even just taking the lead in any social scenario, that's attractive to women.
Thank you so much, Tess. Okie dokie. I think we talked about that. Well, questions. what are your questions? So yeah, we really had the most enjoyable time last time. Does anyone have any questions on this subject? What does it look like being a man? This skinny little 75-year-old, 54-year-old, big-nosed, grey-bearded twerp can answer. You can also have a model with 2 degrees, the paraglides answer. But yeah, you can get so much more value if you ask us questions. While we're doing, I'm just going to run through how we can. Good guys. We need to put the links on the screen. I'm just going to run through very quickly how we help you, how you can get a date with Tess tomorrow. That's Tess, ex-model. That's her coaching, which she spends quite a bit of a week doing. That's Natalia, that's another girl. You don't get to work with her tomorrow. And yeah, what you're going to do is you can book a date with her on Zoom where you practice approaching, you practice dating her. And essentially what we want to do is identify and eliminate your mistakes. Compared to the average guy, you master approaching, master conversation, destroy them with some of the tips we give you. But most importantly of all, identify mistakes, put them into a plan so you know exactly what you're meant to be doing from now on. If anyone is watching the replay, this should be pinned in the comments and in the whatever the description. Yeah, so it really is a good opportunity. I don't think we'll be doing this much longer. That could be you tomorrow, except with Tess. We charge $1,500 or $40.95 for this. I was selling pretty well during COVID. And yeah, so yeah, not $14.95, just $1 tomorrow. And I'm even going to come along and join the thing too. So yeah, you're only getting $5,000 value for whatever. Okay. Questions. We've got one from Magnus. Okay, I'll let an expert put it up because I'll probably stuff everything up. Do you want to read it out, Tess?
Interested to hear some of your clients' stories of older men overcoming doubt and limiting beliefs around dating, feeling like they are going age out, etc. I'm not sure what that last bit means. They're going age out. James, you're the storyteller. You've got lots of stories.
Yeah, I've been coaching a long time. One I talk about regularly, we should have the question slide up. Where's my question slide? Oh, how professional do I look now? I'm becoming a YouTuber. Look what I did. I did that all by myself. I didn't have my assistant today, so that was all me. Anyway, sorry, I try to keep things light. Yeah, a guy literally flew from Nashville, Tennessee. I don't know what that is, 26 hours or something or more. He's a psychologist, so he's not earning large amounts of money. He took a lot of time out of his life. He spent a bit of time after. And he said his first day of training was the best day of his life. And this guy was about as pussy whipped as you could ever reasonably get. He just had super toxic. Can you say, if I say BITCH on YouTube, a bunch of guys in socks with, come in with truncheons and take me to jail for political incorrectness? I don't know. Anyway, he had just BITCH after BITCH. He dated a whole string of them. And yeah, he was ready to give up, and he'd tried a bunch of dating coaches. I say a bunch, like 3 dating coaches in the States. One helped him, the others he wasn't a fan of at all. So he flies to Australia. Anyway, he's just exclusively dated women 26 to 36, and like not gold diggers. He doesn't have the gold for them to dig. But yeah, like there's an entrepreneur, yoga teacher, professional singer who flies around the country. And there's another psychologist. And he actually started making much more money as a psychologist, because especially from his female clients, who sort of took a much more masculine lead, whereas before he was sort of the beta male that we learned from his relationship. Yeah, I mean, he said the first day of training was the best day of his life because just all those light bulbs go off. So what happened? It's just everything Tess and I just crap on and on and on and on and on and on about. Conversation, touch, eye contact, body language, body positioning, understanding female psychology, dressing better, you know, there's a whole bunch of other stuff, understanding female tests and psychology. But yeah, that really changed everything for him. Were there any other questions, or should we move on? Boyce, how can you be chivalrous without being too nice? Dude, that, no offense to Magnus, that's question of the night. I love that question. Tess, you want to start, or you want me to?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, you want to be chivalrous, you want to be polite, but there's there's a certain line where you cross where you just become pathetic and 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 likely to get friend zoned. You know, and that's you know, like James has mentioned in the past, you know, walking on the street side when you're with a woman, or holding a door open for her, that sort of thing. That's great. Be polite, you know, be a good guy. But when you start asking permission for her, to, you know, using really passive language, and you ask questions, or say, you know, asking, you know, when you ask for a woman's number, you're like, oh, would you maybe want to potentially give me your number? Would that be okay? You know, that's just pathetic. It's you know, it just makes you look like you have low self-esteem, low self-confidence, and you put the woman on a pedestal. So that just, when you're doing that, she feels as if you're below her, because that's what you've done. You've put yourself below her, and she's going to respond that way. So yeah, if you can be a man and be a chivalrous man without being pathetic, that's exactly where you want to be. So you just have to be careful of being overly polite. You know, you introduce yourself to a woman, you say, hi, my name's John. What's your name? You know, and your voice is up however many octaves, and because you're trying to be the nice guy, right? But then you lose all of your masculinity. It's just not sexy. And yeah, so it's about finding that balance and not becoming pathetic.
Can anyone let me know, when Tess is talking, is there any echo, or is it just me, which isn't an issue? If someone could let me know. Yeah, what was the saying I used to have? In public, be an English Oxford educated gentleman. In private, you want to be like some 8-year-old kid, a boy on a sugar high, just exciting and fun and playful. In the bedroom, you want to be the master of the freaking universe. So yeah, you want to be. Oh, good, no echoes. Thanks, guys. So yeah, you just want to be a gentleman, because women love that. I mean, not every woman. There's, you know, people with blue hair and red hair and, and stuff who don't like that, but nearly every woman worth having, they love the gentleman stuff, whether it's chairs or coats or the street side thing. And whenever I get a girl who I definitely don't deserve to have, I say every time, but a lot of the time I'm getting feedback about these small things that I do that I learned from other girls, that will help you get it. So yeah, that's fantastic. That's a fantastic question, Boyce. That's definitely question of the night so far. Okay, we'll flick back through that. I just wanted to have my little question slide on. You've just got to get over your fears of dating younger women. Tech guy, could you possibly swap them around? Put the pretty one at the top and the ugly one. By the way, this sounds vain, but yeah, anyway, I've been essentially disabled for a long time, and I haven't got around to washing my hair, which I definitely need to do. I look like a disgrace. No dating coach should ever look like that on camera. He's a fraud. Yeah, dating coaches have to put some attention into their appearance. So that's not good. But anyway, next week I'll be better, I think. Yeah, what are your fears? I mean, you got some young, pretty girl, particularly if you've got a bit of grey, and you get this harsh rejection, you old, ugly sleaze. It's obviously much worse now than it used to be. Probably the biggest one for many of my clients is you'll be used and abused by the younger woman for money, and that happens. It happens. Still, the idea that a woman's going to go out to dinner with you repeatedly just for the free dinner. I know there are girls like that, but I think it's a tiny little percentage of the population. I mean, to sit for 2 hours. Actually, this is a good interjection for Tess. What's it like to go on a bad date with a guy?
What's it like to go on a bad date with a guy?
Yeah, explain.
Yeah,
Like, he takes you to, you really like him. He takes you to dinner. The conversation's not very good. He doesn't touch you. He talks about himself the whole time and his accomplishments. Doesn't ask you much. If he does ask you something, doesn't really listen. Just explain that to he's boring. Just explain that
it's
to the guys.
yeah. I mean, it's just you know, me personally, I'm a nice person. Like I wouldn't harshly reject that person, but I definitely wouldn't be going on another date. You know, if the guy, yeah, just steals the spotlight, I'm not enjoying myself. He doesn't have good social skills. He's just yeah, it's potentially embarrassing. I I don't want to be seen with him again, you know, and I don't want to. I'm not enjoying spending time with him. There's no attraction at all. Yeah, it's just not going to lead anywhere. Um, Oftentimes, you know, I could potentially cut the date short as well. You know, just make up a reason that I have to go because, yeah, I mean, if a guy, you know, you can make a couple of mistakes, and if you're doing some good things, you can come back from that. But if it's going on repetitively, it doesn't take long for a woman to just think, well, no, this isn't going anywhere. So yeah.
That's good. Just talk a little bit more about how you feel when you're sitting there. You've got this whatever fish and vegetables in front of you. You've got a glass of wine. You really like the guy, and you're like, "Oh, I want to kill myself. This is just so bad." I'm sure it's happened to most pretty girls. Can you think of an instance where you can share it with the guys?
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, this, yeah, it's definitely happened with a guy who's, first of all, I feel really bad saying this, but I have to be honest. His his voice was terrible. Like I just, you know, we'd actually been chatting on a dating app, and yeah, it was going okay. I thought I'd give this guy a chance. We went on a first date, and when I first met him, his voice straight off the bat was really just unattractive to me. It was yeah, he was just like really over energetic, which meant that yeah, he was stealing the conversation. He was just talking about himself the whole time. He'd get really excited, like overexcited when I would mention something that he had like a small interest in. So he was just like an excitable schoolboy. And yeah, and that just became awkward because yeah, I mean, he was clearly very confident, which was awesome, but he wasn't skillful. So he was blatantly just commenting on my appearance, and that can be really awkward as well. And it's also um, yeah, so with his big energy, stealing the spotlight, commenting on my physical appearance the whole time, it just made me feel like he's projecting his idea of me on me and not actually getting to know me, and not seeing beyond whatever superficial judgment he's made of me, and just trying to impress me with talking about himself. So yeah, it was just really awkward and horrible. And yeah, I mean, um, obviously every scenario is going to be slightly different, but yeah, it didn't turn out well. It was just a bad combination of things.
Thank you so much, Jess. Thanks for all the questions. Martin's saying, I've heard echoes slightly on both of you. If anyone's listening with headphones, if you give us any feedback about the sound, not that we can do that. Anyway, Ralph's got a great question about bad breath. We might deliver what we've promised and then come back to Ralph's question at 5:51 for my time at the moment. 7:51. Okay, slide back. Can he do it himself? Let's see. Oh, pretty girls not on top. Anyway, I have to deal with it. Harsh rejection, public humiliation. That's going to happen. Use and abuse for sex. That's probably the ultimate example of, you know, it's hard to imagine, she's getting really moist down there with that guy. It's very, very hard unless she thinks of a new Louis Vuitton handbag or something. Maybe then. The other thing a lot of guys are scared of is to date a younger girl, pick me out of a nasty divorce and not much success, pick up some cash, and then they'll feel like they were just a rebound or they're just a fling, and they end up getting quite hurt. Now, I've had a few friends and probably a couple of clients too have been really hurt by a younger woman they really, really liked, but for some reason they weren't cool enough, or she maybe didn't see themselves with a guy that much older than her, or maybe he just wasn't confident enough for her at that point if she was really hot and used to alpha male, for a better term. And yeah, I mean, friends, family lobby against you, fears of dating younger women. Dump him, you silly girl. What are you with him for? You could do so much better. I mean, I've had several instances. One was a girl I quite liked who I wanted to bring into my business strongly because she was freaking amazing. And she ticked all the whatever elite model etc. boxes. Started dating when I started becoming a dating coach. And yeah, her mum just said, "No, I just do not like this guy." Partly it was the age, partly it was some other stuff. She just lobbied and lobbied and lobbied, and eventually just gave up on this girl. So I'm just like dating a girl as being a therapist. It's like you're dating the therapist or you're dating the mum. It's like, do I really, really want to do this? It's like you're not just having a relationship with her, you have a relationship with mum. She's not sexually attracted to you. I mean, I'm going to bring the photo of the 80-year-old, 9-year-old Texan billionaire and Nicole Smith back up. Yeah, the only time I've been jealous that I can remember, apart from when a girl I'm seeing goes on a date with a girl, which is much more intimidating because I've got no way of competing with that. If he's rich or if he's whatever, bigger dick than me or whatever. There's all these metrics where it's like he might have X, Y, Z, but I've got A, B, and C. But yeah, when it's a girl, it's just like she decides she likes girls more than guys. Toast. But the other time I was majorly jealous was this. I don't know what he was, 5'5". I don't be rude. Like balding, comb over. I think he had those plants. His hair plants. Is quite a long time ago. Hairy back, leather vest. It's just that he was like one of these rope master guys. I don't know what they call them. What's the Japanese thing? I don't know.
Chivalry.
And yeah, the way the girl I went to this party with just reacted when he did this fucking rope show, it was like, oh, I'm really jealous. And this is when I'm like 40 or something. It's like, I'd never seen her look at any man. I've never seen her look at any woman like that guy because he was the ultimate leader. He had this woman under a magic spell. And this was a very attractive woman that he was dating. So, but yeah, again, he was performing before a crowd, but the level of, some of the things that women consider a man, not all of them, that this guy had, that I had, I think, too, but not as much as this hairy backed dude. Yeah, that was like real jealousy. What? So yeah, I don't know if that guy's helped you. Yeah, a lot of the time there's going to be no connection. There'll be a generation gap. I think I say later on that, yeah, you're going to have to kiss a few frogs and it's sometimes not going to work out. That really, really is an issue. I get around that by dating girls who love reading books. That's worked insanely well for me. Like every relationship in my life has been worth talking about. As I say, there's been 6 that were really, really special. Every single one of them was a massive reader of literature and in some cases philosophy. Lack of emotional maturity, that happens, but as Tess talked about early on, I mean, I did a graph this many years ago before the red pill started doing that. Women and men just they talk about appearance and sexual market value. I was doing it years ago, but women and men, it's like the maturity rate is so much different. I mean, particularly if the guy's got a bit of money and he hasn't had kids, he doesn't really need to ever mature. It wasn't until I started the business and didn't do a very good job of it that I sort of matured in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I think it's more on the side of men who are too immature. But yeah, if you are dating women young enough, but I'm not picking up girls at clubs and stuff. And it's the only time I'd ever pick a girl up at a bar was if it happened on a boot camp. I really liked her, and it's generally just after work drink. So yeah, the lack of emotional maturity if you pick the wrong girl, like the successful guy just hooks up with his secretary after she got a new boob job and some big stupid fake lips. Fear of massive heartbreak if she dumps you. I might be being a bit repetitive there. Sorry, guys. If you guys are enjoying these, and there's a bunch of you guys on tonight, even though Tess is down the bottom and we screwed up at the start. I screwed up at the start, sorry. Yeah, if you want more of this stuff and potentially use Natalia, Val, Coda's clinical psychologist, if you could just do us this favor, hit like, subscribe, and I've been all fancy today. Look how much I'm learning about being a YouTuber. You can just do it with one click. So Tess, or if you guys could just subscribe link into the chat, yeah, it'll literally get you more of these. And there's also that bell that my wealthy friends say, get them to ring the bell, get them to ring the bell. And the biggest thing you guys can do is leave a comment after the videos go live. That helps us so much because we are nothing in the YouTube universe. Questions? I think we did questions. I've screwed that up again. Excitement, adventure, boundless energy. Oh, if there's any questions on the fears of dating younger women, that would be really, really good because that's something I have considerable expertise in. I recently just turned my nose up at a girl who was 16 years younger than me, who I won't go into too much detail, who ticked every conceivable box I could ever imagine just because I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And I was a bit busy, but this girl ticked every box I could possibly have. She could be 3 inches taller, but other than that, like, wow. Okie dokie. Yeah, remember the dream. Thank you. The pretty one on top. I'm very happy with that. Especially with my bad hair day, or shocking hair day, especially for a dating coach. This is a bad hair day. I sound like a girl, don't I? Saying I'm a good example of a man, they're going, I'm having a bad hair day. Oh, and I'm on camera. I feel awful. People are going to judge me for centuries to come. Anyway, sorry about that. Okay. What's the dream? Excitement, adventure, boundless energy, young and beautiful. I mean, great sex, not furniture shopping. I don't want to be rude, but if you're dating women in their 30s, particularly if they're women who want to have kids at some point, I don't know how many times you're going to be able to drag other girls who are younger, much better body than them to them. I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it'll never happen, but the statistical chance is much, much more likely, unlikely. Yeah, the status boost is just absurd. It's just absurd. The guy's now a billionaire. We were friends when I was in America. Might be a multi-billionaire actually. And yeah, he was a bit talky. He was a tech guy. And I literally, when he came to visit me, I literally got him to sleep in the model house that I was staying at that time. It was just a small one, but he got a bedroom there. And I mean, this guy just hunted me down constantly. Come live with me, come live with me, come live with us. We've got the biggest house in a city I won't mention. I should anyway. It's one of the major tech cities. And just like, we did have a connection. He was one of the smartest people I've ever met, if not the smartest, certainly analytically. But yeah, it's just, and I got him invited to my party and all this sort of thing. So yeah, you cannot understand what it can do to your life if you can be seen to be good with women. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think I told a story previously of a friend of mine who in the 90s was earning about 340, 350 a year. In the 90s, working like 5 hours a week. You know, he was a very good public speaker, and he played golf well and used his Amex card very well. But it was largely just because he was so good with women, and he introduced his clients to women they probably would never get to meet otherwise. Yeah, I mean, again, I talk in generalizations about so much stuff. This isn't Newtonian physics or something. Like 100% correlation to what I say, but oftentimes when you stick a bit younger, you get way less emotional baggage. Especially if you've got a girl who's hot and smart. I might just talk this point to guys, you know, depending on your age range. It's always been terrible because women that you would consider a 9 or 9.5, let alone 10, they live a life that, you know, is just for celebrities or very, very rich people who have enough time to act like celebrities. Their life they lead just isn't real. They sprout tits and this red carpet just appears in front of them and never goes away to a certain age. So if you are dating a legitimately beautiful girl, particularly if she's got a brain, over a certain age, in many cases, it's just like, you know, whatever. Her last boyfriend had a jet. Her last boyfriend had a Lamborghini. Her last boyfriend was a touring musician. Her last boyfriend was a professional athlete. And it's just like, it doesn't matter how great you are, especially if you're a business owner or a white collar guy. It's just like, how do you keep this girl happy long term? And that's been an issue. I've never really had it, but that's been an issue a lot of people have to deal with. Okay. Yeah, I mean, to have like true love and connection with a young hot girl was the greatest times of my life. Again, I'm going to get in trouble here, but if you start looking at how much women's eggs deteriorate once she gets over 30, I probably shouldn't quote numbers, but it's staggering. If she's a yogi or very healthy, there's going to be much less of a factor. But yeah, I've had a few guys I know who are very, very successful have kids with women, you know, a bit too old. And I'm not saying this won't happen with women a bit younger as well. And yeah, they've just had a kid who's, you know, going to hospital every week and just, you know, just took away from their life. And again, with all the toxins and all the crap that's been put into us, and that can happen with young girls too, but it's far more likely in a girl who's lived the wrong way. One of my favorite clients, one of my first clients, he was, how old was he then? 38, 40 or something, and might have been that 35. I can't remember else. He had a body like a Men's Health cover model. He was a champion kung fu dude. But he said he had chronic erectile dysfunction. I'm just like, I don't know. So anyway, he went, I can't remember what the age was, like much closer to his age, someone he had a really good connection with, he really liked. So he went all the way to an 18-year-old, and yeah, threw those blue pills straight away. Just not needed. So that's something to consider. The other thing is, it's not always, just so grateful about everything. I mean, I've taken 3 girls scuba diving for the first time. It's just like, yeah, it's just they're so grateful. Comparing and contrast that against a hot girl who's 10 years older, who's done everything you never think of and not really had to work a day in her life in many cases. Yeah, tip, if you're going to go scuba diving with models in third world countries, don't. They can't handle the cold unless the wetsuit's perfect and thick because they're so thin. I've run into that problem, yeah, before. You want to network with guys way above your age. A guy who founded a very famous Australian company you've all used many times and heard of. He was like calling me a genius, and you know, this is the best thing I've ever seen, partially because of public speaking. But yeah, it is the ultimate status symbol, really, unless you're, you know, Michael Jordan or Elon Musk is something absurd. This is a really important point. It's not for everyone. It is just not for everyone, and you got to find the right one, which is easier said than done. And I've had so many Asian guys who've done my training. What's the first thing they do? I'm sure you guys can guess. They go out and date every looking white girl they can, especially with big boobs. And often ones who are taller than them. I've had that a bunch of times with like my Asian studs. But if you follow up on them 5 years later, what do you think's happened? You know, they marry and have a family with an Asian girl. I'm not saying this is every single time. I've had quite a few white guys, Asian guys have long-term white girlfriends. Some of them like the darker ones too, for some reason. I think I know the reason for that. So yeah, it's just not for everyone. So, but it's something I think you should probably try out, if nothing else, for your self-confidence. But yeah, I'm not saying you got to do this to live that way at all. But I just think it's something you should experiment with. And I think I told that story about the guy before. So yeah, if anyone's interested in getting really, really good help for free, we're giving away our best content ever. We're soon going to start doing AI summaries of the lives, which I think will be very valuable to review. And we'll give you our most content ever. And I think once we get, once we get to 20 or 30 of these, I will give you an access to something I never released, because of the political correctness in the world. I think is insanely good content. It is arguably better than the one I did that got 1.8 million views, probably 2 million or more on various channels. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, I did it with River and Julia. Yeah, or can someone put the link into the chat for the framework and the best content of all time, please? That's good. Terrific. Okay, isn't it a good job with the slides? What am I saying that? Should I tell this? No, I might say this another time. We want to get back to the content. I have to remember to tell that story later. Social proof power. Yeah, I'll cover that another time. I want to get back to not for everyone. Yeah. Will we do this? It'll be a test of my tech skills. Okay. Anyone who thinks they're not attractive enough, or too old, or whatever the hell your excuse is, and there's some good excuses around, I'm not denying that. Just check this out. Okay, this is going to be a will James screw up again. Tess, did you have anything to add to that while I'm trying to make sure I don't screw up? Hello?
Yeah. I keep muting myself because of that echo. But yeah, no, I think it's important what you said, James. And yeah, the classic example of clients, dating the young white woman or whatever, and then eventually settling down with a woman who they might actually have more in common with and can connect and communicate with, because they have, cultural similarities and other similarities that make them actually more compatible long term. I think that makes sense. So you just have to think, you're absolutely right. Not every single woman is open to dating guys with that bigger age gap, but a lot are. And so, yeah. And then there are obviously going to be some difficulties. The ones that James highlighted are, you might not be into the same music, or, you might not have had the same life experiences, etc. But James also highlighted how that can be a huge benefit, being an older man, because younger women, you're opening up these new experiences for them, which can be amazing for a younger woman. So these are, it is a different dynamic, but there are positives and negatives for both. So if a woman's open to dating an older man, then she's open. She's there, she's in it. So and there are lots out there. I think the biggest age gap I've ever dated was about seven years. But I have friends who, even just after high school, were like dating guys in their 40s. So that was when we were in our young, 20, 21. So it just depends on the woman.
They're great examples, Tess. Thank you so much. Are you hearing echo too at your end, Tess, when I talk?
Yeah, everything's fine from where I am.
Oh, that's good. It's just me. That's good to know. Oh, was it? Tess raised a really good point. Yeah, also, I'm not completely bagging younger men too. There's some that are very, very mature for certain reasons. You can destroy older men. And they've got other benefits as well, certainly, if they're not crazy healthy. But yeah, anyway, I'm probably going too much. Okay, can James do the tech skills thing? Okay, you're going to lose the lovely Tess for a second. Maybe you'll keep her. Okay, anyway, Sean Penn. You know him. I will just see if I can do this one right. It's probably going to be worth it. Okie dokie. Okay, he's an idiot. Can someone just... Can you see my screen? Oh, don't you dare. We might not get... Oh, here we go. I've hit the wrong button. The old guys hit the wrong button. Young guys are better with tech than old guys. I'll bet you that.
Manage to bag.
Tess, can someone tell me if you can see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, great. Okay, and can you hear the volume?
Despite their massive age gap.
Yes.
Okay, I don't need to talk. I don't think anyone needs to talk.
14 beautiful women you won't believe Sean Penn managed to bag, despite their massive age gap. Number 1, Scarlett Johansson. Their brief romance in 2011 featured a major 24-year age gap in favor of Johansson. Number 2, Charlize Theron. Sean began dating Theron in 2013. She is around 15 years his junior. Number 3, Minka Kelly. In 2015, Penn was rumored to date Minka Kelly, who was about 20 years his junior. Number 4, Susan Sarandon. Penn dated Susan Sarandon in 1984. He was about 23 and she was around 37. Number 5, Barbara Hershey. That same year, he was linked to Barbara Hershey, who was roughly 13 years older. Number 6, Elizabeth Moon. The Racing with the Moon co-stars became engaged in 1984, but broke up 1 year later. Number 7, Jessica White. Dating in 2009-2010, model Jessica White was roughly 30 years younger than Penn. Number 8, Layla George. Penn began dating Layla George in 2016, and despite their 32-year age difference, the couple went on to marry in 2020. Number 9, Jewel. In the 1980s, Penn dated Jewel, who was 14 years younger than him. Number 10, in 1995, he was romantically linked to Lloyd with a 10-year age. Number 11, Natalie. In late 2023, Penn was rumored to date actress Natalie Kelly, who was 20 years younger. Number 12, Olga Korotyeva. They were involved in 2023-2020, with Olga being about 20 years younger than Penn. Number 13, Valeria Nikol. In 2024, Penn was seen publicly with model Valeria Nikol, who was 34 years younger. Number 13, Petranemko. Around 2008, Shirtna, Petranemko, with model Valeria Nikol, who was 34 years younger than him. In 2024, Penn was seen...
If you can hear me, that's definitely not an attractive older man.
4 years younger than him. Number Shirtna, Petranemko. Around 2008, he had a romance with Petra Nemtsova, who was about 20 years younger.
Okay, great. I don't know what to say. I sort of rest my case. Any comments on Sean Penn? I mean, I don't think he's ever been in a major hit movie. He might have. Could people see my screen?
Yep.
Oh, great. Has anyone got any comments or questions on that, Tess? I'm not so sure if you have anything to add. He's not an attractive guy by any stretch, but he's extremely confident.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's obviously all these women are open to dating older men. There are a lot of women who are. Yeah, so it's, I think there were a few comments that and questions that we've missed, James. I don't know if you want to go back to them at this stage.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Thanks for reminding me. So I think we're up to a question of Ralph.
Yeah, there was someone here.
Bad breath one.
The bad breath one, yeah.
651. I remember that all by myself.
Nice. So the bad breath. Let's have a look.
I can handle that if you don't have anything to add.
So I'm dating a woman around my age. She had bad breath on every date. Not much fun kissing, even though she really knows how to kiss. How should I tell her without her freaking out? Oops, sorry, that was me. Okay, so yeah, obviously that is something you want to address. And yeah, if you've been on a few dates with this woman, I'd assume that you've built enough rapport that you might be able to communicate about this sort of thing. You know, you can always like slyly hint at things by like offering her a mint every so often. But also, if you just sometimes you just have to approach these things. Just be honest, you know, and you can start by saying, please don't take this the wrong way, and I absolutely love kissing you, but I've just noticed, yeah, that I can sometimes smell your breath. You know, I thought you might want to know that. I'm telling you, yeah, you know, and if you say it in a way that you're not making her feel terrible about herself, then I think she'll probably appreciate that.
Great, thanks, Tess. Again, it's about being confident. I mean, it happened quite a lot because I was flying around the world doing boot camps for a while, and I just got in the habit if I met a girl in a bar, because I'd stopped drinking at one point, and yeah, you can have some interesting tastes if you pick up girls in a bar. Sorry. I would just give her a toothbrush and say, "Hey, let's go brush our teeth." And you know, we're about to sort of get on with the business. I just said, and I'd take leader. Hey, I'm gonna brush my teeth, and I'd sometimes just throw him a toothbrush. But yeah, I started to do that as a pattern because I've had a. Yeah, anyway, it's just you don't want to be with a girl for the first time, particularly if you really like her and there's bad breath. I mean, I don't know, I'm just making this up on the spot. I really like you. Before we make out, I think we should. I'm gonna brush my teeth. Just say, do you want to? If she says no, I'm just like, no, I don't know about that. So yeah, you just got to be bold and get away with it. Yeah, no one's ever denied me. Now I'm not going to say that's, and we're talking certainly more than 10. And I just I traveled. I had all my little sex paraphernalia, which I won't go into. I mean, you anyway, and I had a bunch of toothbrushes because yeah, I don't want to have to. Especially if I really like her, I don't want bad breath on the first kiss. It's awful. Can someone put John Rambo's comment up?
Yeah, I think I'll just quickly comment on that as well. James, I know for a fact that James eats quite a bit of garlic sometimes. So yeah, sometimes if you can lead in by saying, oh, you know, I've been eating garlic, I'm going to brush my teeth, then it makes it inclusive as well. Then she's like, or, you know, if you ask her, oh, can you smell my breath? I've been eating lots of garlic or something like that. Then it might spur her to think, oh, maybe my breath smells as well. So yeah, those are some ways you can ease into it. John Rambo. Is that the question, James? How do you have a conversation with her, make her talk more than me doing the talking? Good question. Do you want me to start, James?
Yeah. You're the expert at that. Who does all the Zoom coaching.
Cool. Yeah. How do you have a conversation and make her do more of the talking? Cool. So that's actually quite important, especially in the early part, the rapport building part of the conversation. You know, if you've just approached a woman, let's say, you want to get her talking so that she becomes more invested in the conversation. So basically that just comes down to asking her really good questions, really good open-ended questions that get her talking and get her talking about something she loves so that she's enjoying that. Yeah, so even if you have the chance to respond, and yeah, you might be talking about a topic that you're really interested in, don't get carried away and steal the spotlight. You can always just respond, say, oh yeah, I'm really into that too, or oh, that's really interesting, I've always wanted to try that, or something. But yeah, tell me more about whatever the topic is. Keep her talking. It's just about keeping it short, keeping your responses fairly short, but still being engaging and listening, and then following on with another good open-ended question. Keep it talking.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a perfect answer. I don't have much to add to that. It's what Tess does all the time. Yeah, open-ended questions, and yeah, if anyone is interested in that, yeah, book a session with Tess because she's the master. We've had some really awkward tech guys get everything they wanted. Wayne, excellent question. How do I show? It's easy. Okay, am I going to screw everything up? No. Anyway, I'll let someone who knows how to do it. How do I respond when I get a call from old sleeves? I haven't had those words exactly. I've had "you're too old for me." It was sort of an ooh face. But yeah, I had one instance where I was at the beach and there was a girl with a pretty nice set of memories, to put it mildly. Good body, and I sort of looked up and down, and she was a lot younger than me, and her friend turned to me and goes, "What are you staring at my friend for, you dirty old squeeze?" But yeah, she didn't have the best face, and I don't know if I'd have bothered even going on it. So it's until you get to a point where you're really confident, it's probably going to happen. But yeah, if you do Muay Thai or boxing or BJJ and you get any good, you're probably going to get injured at some point. So, obviously with our help, particularly Tess and the Zoom coaching, so you do a good job. It's going to drop dramatically, but I'm not going to lie and say it'll never happen to you. So I hope that's a good answer. It will happen. I mean, particularly today where the world's so woke and it's like, she's 10 years younger than me. And they use the pedophile word for a girl well into their 20s. It's just like nuts.
I think also there are certain things you can do to avoid coming across as sleazy, to avoid this happening as well. So obviously, eye contact. Avoid making comments about her physical appearance straight off the bat, or because then she'll think, no matter what age you are, that is sleazy. She'll think, oh, you're being creepy, you're just checking me out, especially for attractive women who potentially get preyed on, and that happens all the time. It's like, come on, can you please just see beyond what's on the exterior? And women love it when you do. So yeah, you can do some things to avoid that. If someone's calling you an old sleaze, and they're being kind of nasty, and you haven't, you've been polite and haven't, you're not being sleazy, then they're probably not a very nice person. But always just brush it off. If you're like, oh, what? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to be sleazy. And then just try to divert by asking another question. Keep it lighthearted. Just warm, positive energy. I think generally people will respond well to that.
Yeah, I mean, I've had instances when I'm approaching girls where it's like, maybe I approach them, I don't get a good response, which does happen. And I'll just go, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't read you guys' body language very well. I can see you're into each other's conversation. I'll let you guys go. And come say hi if you're free. At the same time, I'm touching on the shoulder, building attraction. And sometimes I do what one of my best mentors ever, talking on the subject of ugly. I don't know if he was ugly, but he had a nose that made mine look tiny, and it was huge, half his body weight, I think. And there's no way he was 50 kilos. He's 5'6.5", 5'7". He's about 48 kilos at the most. And as soon as the girl rejected him, he'd just run. He'd just run to another girl, preferably hotter, and start talking to her. I've done that many times after I got rejected. And the harshest "you're too old for me" I ever came across, I said, oh, and she was with Ivan of all people, who might be here. We were both really a bit of grey in our beards. So I just went, okay, screw you, woman. So I just walked up to a girl considerably hotter than her. Oh no, this was the best ever. There was a group of busty, tall, skinny blondes. And I was like, okay. She goes, "You're too old for me. What are you talking to me?" I don't know if she was sleazy, but she was really nasty about it. It's the worst one I can remember. So I said, okay, fuck you. And I just went straight up this group of, I don't know, 8 women or something. And they were all, I don't know, 19, 20, big. And I went, "Hey, how you guys doing?" And they're like, "Good, good, good." And I don't know how it came in, but they were from Sweden. I went, "Oh, I was there." And, I went to Stockholm, went to Uppsala. I was in Stockholm for a summer, partied at Gotland. And I did Uppsala, the student town where they were all studying. They just talked to me for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. I got all my clients in, and it was a raving success. That woman stalked me for the rest of the night, just like banging into me, trying to talk to my clients. Just because I said, okay, you're gonna reject me, go for it. Okay. People aren't intentionally mean to complete strangers who don't do anything really sleazy, unless there's a reason. She might have had a really bad day. She might have had some old guy with really bad breath come up to her. It could be a pickup artist come on, which I encountered a few times in the States and even Australia. And she might be sick of guys harassing her. So there's that group. And then these are just really nasty people. It's like, why do you care what they think? Most women put an age range on. Okay, can he do it himself? Let me see. Show. Am I going to end the whole thing? Someone did it for me. Most women put an age range on dating apps, usually 5-10 years. Why would they do that if age really didn't matter? I'll just handle that straight away. Because you're on a dating app. This is probably not going to work. It's just probably not going to work. And I got a graph that a friend sent me. If you look at Google searches for dating apps, I mean, they peaked in 2016. It could have been Bumble was actually reasonable. It wasn't great. I certainly never bothered going there. But it had some success stories about some sort of adequate woman out of it. But it's just no one's interested anymore. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of them they don't want younger than 6'6", shorter than 6'6", because they assume guys are going to, how big's your dick? Oh, it's like 8 inches. It was 5 or something. They just assume you're going to lie, so they build in that's why they say 6'6", and they put an age range. So yeah, if you're an old guy, I don't know. I mean, I told you about the girl who ticked pretty much every box. Most interesting woman I've met in a long, long time, and I don't think it would have changed it. But I shouldn't even say this. I'm so against lying. But if she'd been a bit different, if she'd fudged her age, I don't know, there's a 25% chance I might have followed through and done something. I probably shouldn't have said that. She was like a Bikram yoga freak. So if she told me she was 28, I don't know, I wouldn't have questioned it too hard. It's just, I mean, part of what Chris and I are doing, I suppose the mission is, I mean, dating apps are just a scam for everyone because they intentionally make it so that you never get what you want. You get, it's just like a Vegas slot machine. You get enough to sort of keep you happy, keep them paying the subscription. The last thing they're going to do is introduce you to someone who's going to be a great life partner, because then you're going to stop using them. If there's any rich guys who want funding, if you give me equity in the company, I'll design the world's greatest dating apps for you. If you give me a bunch of really good programmers and probably hire someone who's experienced at Tinder or something. It's so easy. It's so easy to create a dating app that works like crazy. I think it happened briefly. Was it Bumble, the one that people actually said nice things about? she left Tinder in a huge huff because, I don't know, something bad happened to her. And I think she went outside the match group and created a separate product, which she actually made a legit dating app for a short time. But then whatever, someone took it over or she got bought out, just like all the health food chains in the US end up getting bought out by Procter and Gamble or something. Sorry, I'm crapping on a bit. Yeah, dating apps just do not work. And if they worked a tiny bit, I don't think they work now. Okie dokie. Sorry, I've been a bit too much on that. Probably one more question. Okay, I'm gonna do it myself. Watch this, guys. Yay! First, I lost my comment up in the screen, virginity. So, Tess, you're prettier than me, like some way. You want to read it out?
Okay. What do you do when you have when you get sisters or orders from family not to date ladies their age or younger, so they are 8 and 10 years younger? So you're saying your sisters or family members who are 8 to 10 years younger than you are telling you can't date ladies their age. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, there are lots of mixed opinions around this stuff, and it is like somewhat controversial, but there are women who are open to dating older men, and you see it happen all the time. So you can't deny that. And 8 to 10 years younger is actually not a huge age gap. Like I wouldn't even consider that to be yeah, you know, some of those issues we talked about with the age gap where you might not have certain things in common, not, you know, that wouldn't really apply to 8 to 10 years, I would say. So I don't really think that that's a huge problem. I think there are some women who are aware that perhaps their value diminishes with age, and therefore they might, you know, openly say to men, don't date younger women because it's out of their own insecurity that they are losing value as they age, let's say. I think there's definitely an element of that. But yeah, if if younger women are showing interest in you, then why would you deny that? You know, I think yeah, if you have the skill to be attractive to younger women and they're genuinely showing interest, then it is what it is. Yeah, you know, I won't mention names. I have a client who's like, who actually, he dresses really well. He's really well presented. You know, he's got pretty decent skill, and he's told me stories of like really young women just like throwing themselves at him when he's gone out on dates, and he's like, Tess, what do I do? It's really awkward. I mean, he's got kids as well, and he just thinks he's like, is it really inappropriate? Like, I mean, he like ran away because he was scared. I'm like, well, it's just a woman. It's just a woman, you know, expressing her attraction towards you. And yeah, it's probably it's clear that you're older, but she's attracted to you. So yeah.
Thanks, Tess. That's Tess's answer. Let's read the question out again. What do you do when your sisters and orders from family not to date ladies their age or younger? They're 8 and 10 years younger. Fuck off. I don't, if it was my daughter, I might have a slightly different response. I don't know. I haven't been in that situation. Even then, if she's an adult, it's like, who are you to tell me how to live? Yeah, I just, this is an example of how much men have been feminized, beaten down, that a woman feels it's her place to make that sort of comment to people. I don't know. I just don't really have an answer for that. It's just totally out of line. I think that's as outrageous as, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that really. I just think it's just nonsensical. We don't do one more question before we get back to it. Okay, I'm going to do it myself. Whoa, 2 in a row. I'm in a hat trick. Men are supposed to feel ashamed or disgusted for desiring being attracted to younger women, right? Women of a certain age range, no matter how old we men get. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I want to get into this too much. It's like society programming us to live the way they want to. Yeah, I mean, monogamy was enforced in our culture for the economy. Um, if you make it gross that any man is, attracted to a woman somewhat younger than them or considerably younger than them, you're really putting people in boxes. I think the people who run the corporations are quite aware that there's a vast maturity difference between men and women. And for many, not all, but for many intelligent, well, mentally sound younger women, it'd be completely foolish for them to date a guy their own age. Yeah, there's aberration. I've had experiences where there is this really remarkable younger guy, but I think it's just us being brainwashed, to be honest. I really think it's us being brainwashed. Yeah, they don't want us to be happy. They want us to be stuck on their TV shows and their social media and just be drones. I mean, I think we've seen enough of that in the last few years to understand that. Okay, I'm just going to see if I can manage this without screwing up. I'm doing not too, apart from the start, I'm doing not too bad tonight. Okay, the pretty girl will disappear for a short time. And then I've got to do this one. Ah, what? Maybe he screwed up. Oh, okie dokie. Now, final thing. He nearly got everything right. I don't know why that slide's first, but I must have screwed up. Oh, I must have been to that one. Yeah, whatever. I traveled but I think we covered this. So why would you listen to, oh, I've got the wrong slides. This might be embarrassing. Why would you listen to us? Yeah, whatever. I was a late life virgin, essentially a 31-year-old virgin, 27 technically. And I would travel around the world, a bunch of threesomes, a whole bunch of models. Most of my girls, the common thread is reasonably attractive. Not all of them are super hot. But yeah, they were all doctors, lawyers, surgeons, girls with master's degrees, girls with degrees, girls who read books, girls who did yoga, girls who didn't really drink much and certainly went with plastic boobs and stuff. And yes, whatever, I've done it to an extent that would make most guys happy. I'm not extraordinary. I've seen guys better than me. I'm an extraordinary coach. Yeah, so I did what every other guy did. I started in 2006 and then went around training guys. And I thought, oh, well, guys fly from other countries to work with me, and I just sort of take them out and hope the bar's working or the bookstore's working or it doesn't rain in the street. So I thought, oh, I've got these two girlfriends. Why don't I just use them as coaches? So that was just a revelation. I still don't think many people actually do this. Yeah, anyway. And yeah, so anyway, I sort of realized having relying on girls having threesomes with to deliver a boot camp wasn't a very sound financial decision. So I just hired a bunch of super hot girls like Natalia, Nevertheless, Jackie, and Mary. And yeah, this was the guy I was talking about earlier. And yeah, we just train you. You do every single thing you need to do in the real world, up to swapping spit with the woman. And I joke there's a platinum boot camp where you get to do that and more, which none of the girls have expressed much enthusiasm for. But one day we'll deliver a platinum boot camp with more than swapping spit. Have I got the wrong slides? Why listen to us? I've got the wrong slides, I'm an idiot. Yeah, that was me, the virgin. But yeah, this is top 3 most important things I'll tell you tonight. Tess, can you just tell me, can you see me in the bottom corner and can you see slides on the screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Woohoo! Like 8 from 10 tonight. I'm doing good. Yeah, if you build it, she will come. If you build it, she will come. If you build it, she will come. I've talked about society programming you and corporations programming you. This is the ultimate one against men. You need to be tall. You need to be handsome. If you're not tall, handsome, and look like a model or famous, you better buy the shit they advertise for you. So you definitely want the Brad Pitt body or the whatever. I don't even know who the better example is. You definitely want to be ripped and muscly and abs, and you got to wear expensive design labels. Man, if you're going to get a hot girl, you got to have a Swiss watch. How do you get a hot girl without a Swiss watch? I've done it with this pathetic thing. I shouldn't even be wearing this on YouTube Lives. I'm having a bad hair day and a bad watch day. What's become of me? And you get the German car, or if you're really good, you get the Italian sports car. And you have to look like that. We've been programmed since we were young. Who had a picture of a Lamborghini or a Ferrari with some hot naked woman lying over it when they were a kid? Some of you. You certainly saw it. So I followed this bullshit programming and didn't live at all in my 20s, apart from drinking and sport and study work. And I built it, and she didn't come. She didn't come at all. I didn't have a girlfriend. The only girls that those who were most interested in knew about my financial situation and success. But yeah, a bunch of my friends, the girl did come, and in every single case, this was a disaster. I sat watching my friends, just women throwing these tantrums in public and screaming abuse at him and taking 3/4 of his money and using the kids as pawns. It was horrible. And yeah, the hours on the phone just listening to this girl moan and criticize him. So I wasn't even that pumped to get better with women. Maybe I'll die a virgin. So anyway, this guy helped me so much go from pretty poor by Australian standards to making more money than anyone I knew. Apart from my clients or other guys who are much older than me. If you want to be successful, find someone who's achieved the results you want, copy it and do what they do and achieve the same results. Not quite 100% correct, but it's a huge start. So yeah, I just searched for mentors and sales skills. And yeah, within a very short time, I'd slept with women from all around the world. And I'm up to 33 now. The one I turned down would have got, I just talked about turning down would have got me to 34. And I fell in love with this girl. And I'd slept with a lot more than a dozen girls, more than 20 girls before I met this one. And yeah, she just completely changed my life in ways I can't even imagine. I'm still wishing her happy birthday, and we chat a bit. So that the connection, arguably the love, hasn't even died. And I think she still feels pretty strongly about me, because I was really, really in love. So this girl completely changed my life. She looked at me the wounds of my childhood. And then, yeah, I did the whatever, from 33 countries and probably 50, 60 cities. And then, and then 5 years of my life with 2 by girlfriends. And, we hired Airbnbs, we went waterfalls, we went to the beach, we were falling asleep in the park, picnics at the beach, zoos and SeaWorld. That girl there was the fly around the world elite model, certainly in her early 20s. And yeah, so I went from this sort of boot camp to the one with my girlfriends, to one with a bunch of coaches. And yeah, this is a good example of a guy, we'll talk about it a bit later. Just average Aussie guy, no luck, very low paid guy. He's a mechanic. And yeah, that's him at an upmarket yuppie bar, approaching girls who are probably lawyers or bankers or something like that. This guy's an old guy, ended up with a 24-year-old yoga teacher shortly after his boot camp. We'll take you out to really upmarket bars that aren't too loud, that have professional people. And bookstores, streets, everything. COVID struck. What a freaking disaster. Cost me a lot of money and a lot of hassles. We started letting Natalia and Tess coach on Zoom, and I didn't think much of it, but it was a revelation, because by the time guys got to boot camp, it's like they're doing better than they'd finished the boot camp, largely thanks to Tess and Natalia. And yeah, there's a bunch of other coaches who are very, very good too. Tess is the best. Natalia's really bloody decent as well. And yeah, we've helped thousands of guys from all around the world. And yeah, maybe the most awkward guy I've ever coached. Oh, I should have booked his face out there, the old slides. A bunch of white girls and beautiful Asian daughter. I think I talked about this guy before. In terms of the guy who flew from Nashville, there's like hundreds of these. I've used the same ones again. And yeah, it's been a team of beautiful girls who helped me, and we've had hundreds of large workshops. And yeah, in these intensive 4-day boot camps. So that's how we help people. And we've had a team of hot girls falling you apart. The goal is to get you off this merry-go-round of being single, lonely, sad, maybe getting a bit depressed about life. And then, you know, whatever, 18 months, a year goes by, and eventually you meet someone and you sort of settle for her immediately and become monogamous straight away. You're stuck in a relationship, you know, potentially a year or two later. And for many guys, if you've got some cash, or you just settle for a girl who just landed on your dick, which so many guys do, and you just end up so miserable. You dream of being single and lonely. I think we went through this. Identify key mistakes. You'll date and go on Zoom. You'll go on a Zoom date with Tess tomorrow if you want. You go on a Zoom date and just clarify everything you're doing, conversation, everything like that. Your dating skills and your approaching skills, relative to the average guy, not relative to a master. You get a master approaching, master dating, relative to most of your competition, and master conversation, most importantly of all. And yeah, we'll give you top 3 things you need to do and a 17-point written plan. Yeah, should completely change your life in 90 days. Supreme Social Confidence, Certified Dates, Beautiful Living Dream Girlfriend Fast. Pictures worth 1,000 words. My clients get to practice and perfect everything from how to approach confidently, how to get amazing at conversation and dating, which we can do on Zoom, how to dress, which I haven't mentioned, how to build a conversation that girls love talking to you, how to use touch, eye contact, body language, body positioning to get really, really confident with women and do the approaches and get women way out of your league attracted to you. And then how to get on dates, how to make dates fun, easy for you, and yeah, how to get girls way, way, way out of your league, which this guy did. He did the day following his training. This girl was blown away by the girl he got a few weeks after his training. He may have not had sex in his life prior to us coaching him. We tend to coach much older guys in some of these now. And yeah, everything you need step by step up to the all-important first kiss, and you get to go pretty close to it, but no spotting, bit swapping. It's put under my Watch Fly, another Watch Fly of Tess, especially Natalia. And yeah, my trainers with him, my coaches, you made it so simple. Anyone can do it. Anyway, I think I've messed something up. I've probably got the wrong slides, but hopefully you get the gist of it. So now it's going to go back to StreamYard and bring the beautiful girl back up. And yeah, okay, I'm going to struggle here. Can you do it? Can you do it? And now I've got to share this thing. Can you do it at the stage? Wrong one. You screwed that up. So can you add the one we meant to have to stage? Oh, we didn't delete the one. Okay, here, I did it myself. What a pro. But it's not adding. Huh? Sorry about this. I should let someone who knows what they're doing do these tasks. For some reason, the slides aren't coming up. Could you just get back to that, please? We might look at, yeah, thank you very much. Oh, that's at the start. Tess, we might take some questions while I just scan through this.
Cool.
We're up to sisters and brothers. Nobody's perfect. Men are supposed to not. Oh, we've done that. Oh God, we're getting on here. Thank you so much for the questions tonight too. I think you guys are going to get much more value out of it. A lot of men feel attracted or grossed out if we're attracted to women that are young enough to be our daughter. I just think that's society's programming. I mean, if any of you travel properly, particularly in the third world or more traditional countries, it's the opposite of that. You don't really see that many, what as Westerners would call age-appropriate couples. Now, I honestly think it's programming. I really honestly think it's programming, intentional. I'm not saying there's some people who, like two of my female coaches, that they're literally attracted to younger guys strongly more than an older guy their age. I would argue it's because they're scared of having their heart broken again. But yeah, I just think we're programmed to act and behave in a certain way. Okay, someone asking if there's a piano in your room, Tess. Yes, she plays Mozart magnificently, or that could be Zoom. Great actor in charisma. Can anyone see the latest question? Oh, I'm way behind. That could have. Oh, okay. Mark asked a good question. I'll take that. Oh wait, I think we might have missed this one. Yeah, Luke, intelligent man in the comments. Dating apps are dying. Just look at their share prices. Yeah, it's especially if you're a bit older, it's just a scam. I shouldn't say that. But yeah, people do meet partners through them. But I mean, I've come across many of them through friends and networking. I'm like, do you really love her or even really like her after 2 years? Apart from anything else, what woman's going to respect you if she met you on a dating app? Like, you're an alpha male, aren't you? You swipe away and swipe away till you got a date. I'm talking maybe people have different opinions to me. Adam Anderson started keeping track of all the dates I've been on. I finished the book with 91 dates, 33 led to second dates and more. 29 led to sex. Is that a good thing? Yeah, I'd guess so. There's a whole bunch of things it depends on. It depends on where did you meet them? Did you meet them off apps? How attractive are they? How suitable are they for you? What is your goal? Are you in your 20s, you just want to play the field? Are you in your 40s or 50s and you want to meet someone very special? In which case, that's great practice. But yeah, I mean, if I slept with, even in my 30s, if I slept with 20 or 30 girls in a row from a nightclub, I don't think I'd do that. I'd get too bored. I wouldn't get it closed because I don't think I'd have much interest in them, even after asking them to brush their teeth. But yeah, I mean, if I see a hot girl in the bookstore, I mean, particularly the literature section, I mean, there's a percentage chance she could be my girlfriend. So yeah, it's a good question. The results sound pretty good for the average guy. So yes, on the surface, it seems really good.
It depends on the time frame as well. I mean, is this within a year? Is this within your lifetime? But yeah, I guess like if you're getting second dates a third of the time or a bit over a third of the time, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It probably means that you are doing some good things. That's great. But potentially there's room for improvement as well. So yeah, it's not. It seems like you are doing some good things.
Great. So, Mark R, that's a great comment. James, you have to realize some of the girls dated Penn for their own publicity and to get noticed intentionally. I agree with that completely. But who's going to get a, like the girl that's Salman Rushdie? Yeah, but a lot of those girls weren't actresses. And yeah, I mean, he's been through so many. I don't know if it's actually getting the result. I totally get. I mean, I could give you example. I mean, I don't know if we'll get to it tonight, but I could tell you all about my approach coaches, 5'3" and 5'5", and I mean, they're killing it. They're fucking killing it. And many of my clients are just killing it. Who aren't the most attractive or who are older. But yeah, I'm just using celebrities where I've got photos that I can use because they're creative. They're available. But my comeback to that is, I can't remember, I think one of them was 40 years older and was 34 years older. There's a lot of young hot actors they could be dating rather than Sean Penn. And he's not exactly a huge box office draw. I don't know what his highest grossing movie is, I can remember. He's not Leonardo DiCaprio by any stretch. But yeah, I also gave you the example of Salman Rushdie. I don't think would be particularly rich because I'm not aware of any of his books that have been made into a major movie. But yeah, I mean, he's dating the same women as Ryan Gosling and Justin Timberlake. No one on earth is going to say Salman Rushdie is hotter than Ryan Gosling. And he's not on stage with, tens of thousands of female fans throwing at him. He doesn't have that. So I take your point, but yeah, all those girls going to date someone famous who was much better looking and younger than Sean Penn, they wouldn't have a hard time. Ben's saying family values more enforced by parents. Martin saying yes, great. Magnus saying, what's it? I've got to put the comments on stage. Sorry, to remind me, there's a photo. Oh, cool, thanks, man. There's a photo of me there at a boot camp I've done over the years. Thank you so much. Always a massive boost to momentum. Luke, James, explaining most guys because most have limited options with women, so take what they can get. Just push. Just give me exactly what you're talking about. I mean, so many of my clients have endless options. I think I shared there was a hedge fund guy who retired at 31 with I don't even know how much sterling he had. I mean, it was 3.5 or 4.5 million sterling one year. This was in 2001, and he's 6'6", and he's fought in the ring in Muay Thai. He played college basketball, and he reads literature, and he's traveled a lot. He's a really good, decent human being. I mean, yeah, we coach a lot of guys like that. They don't make as testimonials as, you know, he marries a model, as some short guy gets a model. Yeah, just tell me exactly what you mean, Luke. That's really interesting feedback. Stavros says, what's that? Is it normal for a girl to ask before you go out for a drink to get to know her well? Tess, I don't really quite understand that. Am I missing something?
Yeah, are you saying that is it normal for her to ask or to expect for you to get to know her well before you go out on a drink? Is that what the question is? If so, I think that women, not always, like if in your initial interactions you've been able to build some sort of sexual tension or attraction, then no, she wouldn't necessarily expect for you to know her really, really well, to go on out for a drink with you, because she, that's what going on the date is for, to get to know her well. But yeah, some women, especially women who are potentially really attractive and get asked on dates left, right, and center all the time, yeah, maybe she would expect you to build some extra rapport if you weren't able to build like sexual tension or attraction straight off the bat. She might expect you to do a bit more groundwork before she goes on a date with you. I hope that's answering your question. But yeah, it was a bit vague, that question.
Adam saying this within a year. I mean, that's pretty decent. But again, I couldn't know how hot the girls were, and did you meet them in a club, or did you just go through whatever you can get off apps? But yeah, if you met that in person and you had a full-time job, that's pretty impressive. If you were legitimately attracted to all of them, that is pretty impressive. But then again, some tall, hot guy with cash, in which case it's not that hard to do it. But I don't know, it seems pretty impressive. Guys undervalue themselves because they don't have the skills. Oh, absolutely, yeah. But I mean, if I think of the most insecure men I've ever coached, the rich ones or the good-looking ones might be more memorable. But yeah, I can think of off the top of my head 5, you know, as society would tell you, like really desirable guys, who are just so ridiculously insecure. And yeah, when Jackie comes across a guy she's attracted to on the surface, but he's not a man, oh my God, do I get some complaints about the female trainers from those guys, because she just has just sheer contempt from them. Like they're asking girl, why the hell aren't you a man? Yeah, so I've had to basically pull her out of exercises and say, hey, Jackie, this isn't on. You treated the guy very badly. Anyway, 2 guys are getting coaching tomorrow. There's just 2 spots left if anyone is interested in doing a date with lovely Tess. I don't know the times off the top of my head. But if you could just chuck the link in again. I meant here, mother. Sorry, what's that? Stavros, I don't get it.
Not sure.
Actually, I don't know. I don't think I've covered Luke's comment properly. Have I interpreted that correctly? Guys undervalue themselves, they don't have the skills. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, completely. Hank, do you believe the use of a structure to reduce your flake rate? Sounds interesting question. Do you believe in the use of a structure to reduce your flake rate? For example, the London day game model. I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest. Pushes for instant dates rather than going for a number of Instagram close. Yeah, that's like gravity exists. Obviously, if you can get an instant date, you take that. That's like 101, 100%. Sheehan, what type of bars are the best to meet single women? I'll let Tess take that initially.
Yeah. To meet single women. I think, cocktail, whiskey, or wine bars. I mean, women aren't into whiskey as much as men, I would say. So, cocktail bars, wine bars, definitely. I think also, if you're into music, then going to a venue where there's live music potentially, you might meet someone who is like-minded. They might be into the same music as you, which is a great starting point to build commonality there. So little things like that. If you're going to salsa dancing night at a bar, if you are legitimately into salsa dancing, that's a great way to meet women. Or if there's like a themed night somewhere, that can work well. So I think the best place to meet a single woman is that you're gonna get along well with is a woman who has some sort of commonality with you. So think about where that might be. If it is just a generic bar, I think again, think about the type of woman you're trying to pick up. You're trying to meet. So
Okay.
if you love dancing and you're into techno music and that's the kind of woman you want to meet, go to a nightclub, go to a techno party.
Yeah, I'm on a YouTube live now.
You're interested in meeting a woman who's who likes to drink wine. You like to drink wine as well, go to a wine bar.
Great. It also depends what sort of woman you're after. If you're after educated women, you probably want to go after work to an after work bar, probably in the CBD. I'm not sure exactly to explain that. If you're blue collar, you might go to a different venue. It depends what age you are too, because I mean, if you know what you're doing in a nightclub, it's much later, so the sex comes much easier. Not that I had a great deal of experience in that, but I've got friends who are insane in nightclubs. So it depends on you to some extent. But hopefully between Tess and I, we've given you a good answer. I just ordered my food. What's happened to? Why is Sean back up? Have I screwed up again? I'm on the wrong screen. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Where are we? Oh, we didn't get to that. We might have to do that next week. So time. Let me see. Yeah, any more questions? There's a few we didn't answer. Okay, I'll answer Instagram. How important is your Instagram profile? Is it worth investing really in getting it spruced up, professional photos? I think so. It's going to be a time commitment, and there's a whole bunch of stuff you need to do. It's a huge time commitment. I will do it at some point, probably more just to learn it for you guys rather than use it myself. It's also pretty good professionally. It's definitely a worthwhile use of time, but I don't anticipate I'm going to meet anyone really special off it. If I do a good one, we might get a really good one. That's another thing. If you decide to get our help, we'll send you a complete style review. You take a bunch of selfies, and then myself, Tess, and probably one of the other models just tear apart your outfits and tell you what to throw, which is in many cases most of it, or just wear around the house, and what to actually buy. And we've got like a very comprehensive list of stuff that you can buy. We also go through your dating app. We also go through your Instagram with you, and we've had insane results for guys where we have done their Instagram. But these are guys, wanting to sleep around in most of the cases I can remember. We had insane results. One guy never had a threesome; he got a foursome. I'm not lying to you. He put some time and effort into his Instagram, and we put a fair bit of time and effort into helping him. So yeah, it's important, and it's probably becoming more and more important. I would still argue, and people may argue with me, that meet them in real life attached to your hobbies and interests. You're going to do dramatically better. But I think you're more likely, if you have an Instagram profile, to meet like a partner person from Instagram than you would just with dating apps. That's my opinion. Tess, did you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, I think what is your Instagram profile? It is personal marketing. That's what it is. So you definitely want to how do you want to present yourself to other people? How do you want to market yourself to other people and to potentially women? So I think that having photos that are good quality and that show, things about who you are as a person, how you want to present yourself, that's important. I don't necessarily think professional staged photos are necessary, but I think like good quality photos definitely adds to the value of your Instagram profile. But yeah, I think to me anyway, and I think to most women, if it is too staged and it looks like you're trying too hard, then that becomes unattractive. So put a professional photo in there if you like. But if the whole thing is professional photos, they're going to think, who is this guy? Is he just like a is he a model? Is he trying to be a model? Like what? It just looks like you're trying way, way, way too hard. So yeah, you want to just keep it natural looking, but good quality.
That's great, Tess. We think. Yeah, I agree with what you said. Other than potentially the professional photos, unless you're like seriously hot, in which case it's probably a disadvantage to have much in the way of professional photos. It's really going to help to have one or two, not the whole thing. It's really going to help to have one or two that are taken by a professional. That's another thing we do. I've got a guy, I think in Sydney, I'll charge you $1,000, and I'll be encouraging a bunch of my clients to do it before or after their events. He's unfucking believable. He's photographed so many celebrities. It's not funny. He's sort of not really a friend, but he's someone I knew from a cafe bookstore I used to go to. It's a lot of girls from. He's absurdly good. I interviewed a lot. So I actually want to use him for my clients. Also want to use him for me. You could probably charge $5,000 if you had any clue about. I don't even think he's got a Google review. He's a worse businessman than me, but he's an artist. He dated Julie Delpy and a bunch of models too. I was so happy with him, given what I paid. James, what do you do? Oh, sorry, put Luke up. I might just wrap up soon because my little skinny body's getting hungry. And I'm having a bad headache. Anyway, I'm being stupid. James, what do you do? You're jaded after sending them and offering them to me for nothing. Yeah, I still don't find women I see as partner material. You're in Melbourne, so you're doing a little bit better than the rest of Australia. To tell you the truth, you're in Melbourne. One other guy wanted to hook up with other Melbourne guys. So and this is one of the ones is a very good looking guy. So yeah, he's already working on the test. So if you want to give us your email, we can hook you up with him. I forgot that. Yeah, I mean, you sound like me. I mean, I'll 2007. I mean, I met a bunch of girls I could date for a while, but I only ever met one who was serious relationship material. And unfortunately, I was still at that stage thinking I was going to marry a Russian French educated girl. Maybe not marry her, but that was the girl I thought was for me. So yeah, Australia's not the best place. I can just answer for myself. Bookstore, cafes, whatever your major hobbies are in life. But I really need to know more about you, um, to help you. Um, yeah, I mean, I really honestly think you could, because if you like, when I launch in America, I'm only going to be targeting properly the top, whatever, the guys who founded Silicon Valley firms or a Wall Street hedge fund manager, because I tend to bond the best with them because of my success in finance.
I
Yeah,
also think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
sorry,
James.
Jess.
Sorry to interrupt. I wanted to say, if women are just throwing themselves at you, and that's the extent of dating for you, you're obviously, why are they throwing themselves at you? Like, women who have a lot of value to offer or have high self-esteem, etc., they don't just throw themselves at men. Because men are throwing themselves at them, and they're having to, sift through the crowd to find a valuable man. So they have the same problem that you do, probably. So yeah, it's about, you've got to go out there and put yourself in the place where you're going to find the kind of woman who you're looking for. So if these women don't have the values that you're looking for in a serious partner, think about, what are those values? Where do I find these women? And put yourself there, and you have to be proactive about making those connections, not just take whatever like comes to you. These like desperate women who are throwing themselves at you. Like, why are they throwing themselves at you? Because they're, I don't know, because they have to.
Yeah, I mean, I told you the story of the 6'6" hedge fund guy who fought in the ring and all that. I mean, I needed a fucking lasso to stop swimsuit models who were 18 years younger than him, who didn't like dating older guys, to stop rubbing their boobs against him. I mean, it was a private training, and I'm trying to coach him how to escalate properly because he wasn't particularly good at that. It's like she's basically fishing his dick out of his fly. So yeah, there are guys like that. You may well be one of them, but that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. Like if you want to meet women and have a great relationship, I don't think being famous is a good thing. Being good looking is not a good thing at all. You're going to trigger so many of her insecurities. So yeah, it's hard in Australia, and it's hard if you've had a bit of experience with women. You're trying to come up with a hybrid of 2 or 3 of them. I'm guilty as charged, sentenced to jail, and incredibly fussy. If you're sort of like me, I really think, without meeting you, and I need to know how tall you were. Do you drive around in a German car? I need to know some details about your ex-girlfriends. I need to know details about, have you had a toxic relationship? Is this just happening within your social group, or are women coming up to you in the street doing this? So there's a whole bunch of questions to ask. I'd need to have an idea of what your ideal woman is too. I could project my idea of an ideal woman onto you, but that's not true and fair. So yeah, it's like a quality problem, but I mean, it's like I've known a lot of models where I dated them or knew them through some way or hired them, and I mean, Tess is a bit of an aberration here. I can't think of too many of them who are legit models who actually got into a happy relationship. And a lot of them had their heart broken over and over again. So sometimes being what everyone else aspires to is nowhere near as good as that. I mean, dunking on Patrick Ewing, I mean, I'd give anything to Michael Jordan in his first 3, but to actually be him outside of a basketball court, it would have been hell on earth. I mean, the guy was a high security prisoner. I mean, you can say that about a lot of. I mean, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan by any stretch. But you see the photos of her dancing with whatever the guy marrying or something now. Even I found out about that. She's so famous, and she's like got like 15 security surrounding them so they can dance in a place. It's like, if you are one of these super high value guys, it's not everything. It's not great, particularly if you don't understand women's test and psychology at a high level. So. Yeah, the hedge fund guy I talked about, I mean, he'd slept with way more girls before I coached him, and he had slept with a lot less after I coached him. But he had 2 or 3 serious relationships, and they just didn't work out because all the girls were so intimidated to be with him, let alone take their clothes off in front of him, because he was in really good shape too. And he ended up, I don't want to give you his whole story, but he ended up so ridiculously happy, and he's got 2 kids. Anyway, yeah, it's a challenge if you've got high standards and you want to meet someone special. Look at me. The biggest regret of my life is I haven't had kids. You know, I let the one woman I really wanted to, and the other woman I'd have considered, and the other one who I could have maybe done it was there 15, 20 years ago. So yeah, I don't know how old you are, Luke, but don't wait till you're 54 to solve these problems would be my big thing. I might wrap up pretty soon. I'll just do justice to the people who are here. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's probably a spot left if you want to take it tomorrow with Tess. I think we could help you a lot if you're interested. Martin Lewis, I have Instagram and videos I made. I haven't met anyone yet. Yeah, Martin, would need to look back to Instagram. Most guys who do an Instagram are probably shooting themselves in the foot. They don't know what they're doing. Like most guys who try to dress better usually shoot themselves in the foot. Or many guys who go to stylists shoot themselves in the foot because a stylist makes them look some pretty boy on the cover of GQ, not a confident, educated man. Sorry, I didn't do the questions. I'm going to wrap up because I'm starving. Nenad Petrovic. Hello. Hank isn't for meeting women, but she checks out your Instagram profile after you meet in a strict setting. Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. That's a valid idea. But then there's so many things that can go wrong. Like if you have pictures of you with attractive women, that might really work for 22 and 23-year-olds. I've heard from Jackie and other girls that if it looks like he's with someone, they don't want to bother because they got past a certain age and they're scared of getting their heart broken. So if you're coming to me 50 and you're already looking for a 30-year-old, having an Instagram with attractive women on it, which is probably one of the key things that will attract them, that might actually backfire on you for that. So I mean, dating's like particle physics. It's one of the most complicated things in the world, and what works in one sphere is completely different in another sphere. If you look at physics versus particle physics, not that I'm an expert by any stretch. I've coached a bunch of guys who are. This isn't for meeting, but she picks you out after Instagram. Yeah, that works really well, and you can build a lot of value, particularly with any girl if you've got a really cool Instagram. But it could also backfire on you for relationships. And my argument would be, if you can get her on a date before she has any preconceptions about you, I think that's going to work better long term. If you're looking for relationships, if you're just looking to sleep with a bunch of girls and you've got a life, then fucking hang it all out on Instagram. It'll work like crazy. But I don't know if you're getting the girls you want. You probably intimidate a lot of girls out of it. A lot of coaches, trainers, coaches and girlfriends I've had, when they're under whatever the magic age is, whether it's 22 or 25 or 28, they're just chasing that alpha male who every girl wants. Once they get beyond a certain age and maybe something happens to different parts of their body, maybe they get their heart broken by one of these alpha males for the 3rd time and they just can't take it anymore. They're actually revolted by these guys because they've sort of figured out it won't work. I'm not going to say which of my trainers have done that, but a lot. Okie dokie. Like, seriously, it's a huge problem. So, I mean, sorry, we'll wrap up soon, like testing more. I strongly recommend not searching guys on social media. This is very different to Instagram, much more mild. One girl I met in Sauna, we had so much in common. She traveled, she did this, she did this, she did this. It's all my boxes. I met her in the fucking sauna. She had an insane body. Like surgeons could barely create it. It was everything you'd possibly want. And she had a nice enough face. And for some reason, I searched her. And I'm like, oh, she's not really that attractive. Because she didn't have professional photos, or she might be one of those mini girls who they look amazing in real life, but they don't photograph well. There's lots of them. I've slept with a few, and you look at them in photos, you're like, oh god, that's not so good. Girls with surgery tend to look amazing in photos. They're very easy to film. I'm an expert at that. Film with girls a lot. So yeah. Anyway, I met this girl in the sauna who was just sex on toast. Who was really into me. Insane body, nice enough face, ticks a lot of boxes. Oh, I'm busy. I don't want to. It's not that attractive. But then I met another girl who was like underdressed. It was basically in very sort of loose, baggy exercise gear. Who turned out to be a model, and she gave me enough information to search her. And like, she was on the cover of French Vogue. And I'm like, okay. I've dated a couple of girls who made enough money from one job to survive, but I've never dated someone on the cover of French Vogue. And so, yeah, I got nervous and I fucked it up. And I really liked her and she really liked me. But so anyway, this is just my personal anecdote. I'm not saying you'll follow it, but if I meet someone, if you're in the relationship category, if that's what you're here for, I probably wouldn't go to that much trouble with Instagram in terms of getting those women. If you want to get practice with a bunch of other women, it might have value. Just like at my age now, I don't think I'd have a threesome with a girl I want to have a family with. Simply because, I'm really crapping on now. I hope this is value to you. It's just like once she's had boobs in her face and long, thick hair on her face, and a really skillful hand, and you know what you're doing. She's just blasted off to the stratosphere. Like, how are you going to replicate this when there's not another girl there? Plus, she'll get really. Anyway, these are just my 2 cents worth. So if you are a reasonably high value guy and you want to meet someone special, my opinion, thinking off the top of my head, is don't have Instagram. I'm starving. This is definitely it. I think that might be a guy I need to contact. I apologize. Martin Lewis says Insta has so many OnlyFans women. Yeah, I mean, that's another point I should have said first. Martin's answer was even better than mine. So thank you, Martin. Final one, I'll let the beautiful girl read it out, and then I'm definitely eating. I'm starving.
Yep. Tess, I want to know your honest opinion on this. How do Aussie women perceive men of color like Indian or Chinese in the dating world? And how can we have an extra edge over other men out there? Cool. So yeah, Indian, Chinese men, unfortunately, you guys don't get represented particularly well in Western media, let's say, like in movies, etc. You never see like the hot guy being like an Indian or Chinese guy. So there's a little bit of brainwashing there, for women, that I think maybe our preconception of Indian or Chinese men might not be that alpha male type. So what this actually does, though, is it gives you an edge over other Indian or Chinese men, because then when you do have those skills, you catch women by surprise, right? So yeah, maybe on a dating app, let's say, a woman might, because of her preconceptions, might think, I'm not gonna swipe yes to this person because they look Chinese or Indian or whatever, because of the way we've been brainwashed in Western media. But if you have these skills and you're meeting women in real life and you're able to show that you do have those skills, then you're going to blow her away. And I think that's why a lot of our like Asian clients, etc., have done so well, because they really stand out of the crowd. They take women by surprise once they do have the skill.
That's a great answer. Yeah, we've coached so many Asian, Indian guys to be crazy good with women. I heard an Asian coach. I've had an Indian approach coach who was one of my longest running. He's had the female coaches interested in him who are models, and this guy is not exactly a model material, model dating material. It's just, yeah, you're horrendously disadvantaged in terms of generics. I'm not saying an uneducated guy can't do it, but if Indians are well educated, and this guy was very, very dark skinned, he was from Kerala for any Indians watching. Yeah, he was educated, he was beautifully spoken, he'd read books, and thanks to our training, he became very, very confident, particularly at escalate. I shouldn't say very, very confident. He became confident, particularly at escalation, which is his gigantic point. And yeah, he did really, really, really well. There's so many Indian. I mean, one of my favorite clients ever is an Indian guy, an Indian born who is a, what do you call it, oncologist. Right? Coached him, and yeah, I mean, he absolutely destroyed it. He had I don't know, one of the 3 or 4 most famous dating coaches in the world at that point, constantly trying to recruit him because I trained him so well. So yeah, guys can do it, but if it's Asian, one of the problems with Asian guys is, I'm sorry about all the stereotypes. You know, we get them and they got bad breath. They can't dress for shit. A lot of them are very smart, programmy guys. They just like a white program or something. Like they need a lot of polishing. And Indian guys is the sort of unfair stereotype of, hello, how are you today? Just sort of over the top, energetic, complete, no social intelligence whatsoever. So yeah, you are competing against those stereotypes, plus the media just, at least for most of my lifetime, just putting white men forward all the time. The other thing about getting a Western girl, if you are an immigrant, is, and this is something we sort of promote, something we're good at, they're going to, if you get an Australian girlfriend or an American girlfriend and you're an Indian or Chinese and you're not born here, especially if you're a recent immigrant, they're going to integrate you into Australian culture at lightning speed and also probably help you make more money long term. Okie dokie, I need to visit a little room and I need to eat. So great to see you guys. Yeah, forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks for your support. Thanks for all the questions. Tonight ended up going a bit later. And we've got some really good stuff left for you for next week. One more question. If I just did a Q&A, who would actually come? Because I'm not sure. If you could just say yes, I'd come, which is probably going to be almost insane value. Just if you would come, just please say yes. I really have to go soon. The more yeses we get, the more likely it is. Because when I promise content, I like to deliver it. But I still think many of you are getting more value out of the Q&A. And sometimes you'll ask something which is better than the content I come up with. That's happened quite a few times. So if we get a long string of yeses, particularly if you put them in the actual video and it goes live, we might do it. So yeah, just let us know if you have any, if that's a big thing for you guys. If we just did a pure Q&A, so I think that'd be insane value. But I'm worried I go to all the trouble I book test, and a much smaller number show up. Okie dokie, guys. Thank you so much for the lovely test, and hope you guys a ton of value out of that. See you later. Oh, and hit the subscribe. There should be a little link there to make us bigger on the YouTube, so we're not these little tiny 6,000 subs people that everyone thinks is a joke. Especially with my bad hair day. Anyway, just talking shit. See you guys.
See you guys. Thanks so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We've put the link in the chat, and looking forward to seeing you next time. See ya.